I'm fired up and I'm ready to go. I'm fired up and I'm ready to go. I'm fired up and I'm ready to go. This is the Billionaire Brown experience. Let's go.
That's funny as hell. All right, so let's get to this step parenting thing. This step parenting thing, it's a real thing. And I don't feel that anybody has figured out this step parenting thing. We don't have a lot of movies that's talking about step parenting. It's mostly the traditional family, which at some cases in certain conversations leads to another conversation, which is the effect that not having conversations about step parenting brings to any individual or any family. So again, what's your step parenting? How do you feel about step parenting? And then I also want to learn from myself.
Well, we had talked about this a little before, and it was one of the subjects that were really touchy for me. You know, me being like the separated entity of the family. You know, Anna, had remarried and so she had that family unit over there. So when the kids were with her, they had that traditional family unit, 2 parents, kids, and I was over here just on the side, just trying to remain a crucial part of my daughter's lives. So I was really defensive when it came to this whole idea of step parenting, because as far as I was concerned at that time, as long as I was in the picture and I was willing and I was putting my best foot forward and I was still trying to raise my girls to the best of my ability, there was no need for this so-called step parent. There was no, as far as I was concerned, that was Anna's husband. Parent didn't even come into the picture for me. But traditionally,
so at that state of mind, real quick, what did you also consider the person who you didn't acknowledge as a step parent? What did you see them as? Like, what would you title them as?
I just saw it as Anna's husband. Like, that was a person Anna was in a relationship with. She married him, but that was it. That was the title he held. If he needed to have a title,
okay,
that was the title he held. Anna's husband.
Okay.
So, and that came from me just being very protective of my own position and my own place in my girls' lives. Now, I had told you before that my mom had married briefly, and I had lived with my mom. I don't know how long my mom was married to this guy, but I lived with her briefly, and he had, and I was about 4 or 5 years old, and he had once, and he treated me nice, and he had once told me I could call him dad.
Okay.
Yeah. I even knew what that. I didn't know my dad. I didn't know anything of my dad. I just knew that guy wasn't my dad, and I wasn't going to call him dad. But he treated me like his son. His actions showed that maybe he loved me. I didn't know. I was 4 or 5 years old. But through the divorce and everything, and this, and being and feeling like I needed to protect my almost like my status as a father, because it was selfish too. It was like I wanted to protect my status as a father, and I didn't want anyone else stepping into that role. I'll give you an example. Like, I work in the trades, and a lot of times you'll have guys that won't teach you what they know for fear that you're going to take their job. They're only going to show you so much to keep you limited so that you don't take their job. I don't know why that example pops up in my head, but that was sort of it. Like, I wasn't going to give him any credit for any role he played in a fatherly way for fear that he was going to take my job. Mm-hmm. And I just use job loosely, fear that he was going to step in as a more present father, because they're in that traditional family unit, So it was really fear-based.
Wait. You have to explain that. What do you mean you had a fear of him being a great father?
Not a great father. Just because he steps in the role where maybe he doesn't have to be the disciplinary. He can be like the fun person, the ones that are always having fun with the girls and spending a lot of time with them. Because initially, that's I didn't have my girls like I have them now. I didn't have them in the capacity that I have them, and I was just afraid that I was going to lose my place in their lives. I was afraid of lose my place in their lives to him.
Okay, so where are you at now when it comes to step parenting? Are you for it or are you against it? Do you understand it? Do you recommend it?
I understand it a little better.
Okay.
And it's come from a lot of time and a lot of what would you say? Introspect, like looking inward.
Is it hard dating? Is it harder dating because of that?
For me?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just hard dating for me anyway. Yeah. I've only in the last 5 years I've only dated I think 2 or 3 women, not counting the woman I'm dating now.
Okay, but you're a little bit. Well, we're a little bit older, so having kids is a little bit more normal. Yeah. But I was just curious to know, like, is that a challenge? Like, do you run into challenge in the dating world where it's, oh, you have these children, I don't want to be a step parent, et cetera, et cetera? Because not everybody wants the role of step parent. No, I haven't run into that.
The 2 women that I dated before, like, they didn't have kids, but they were fine. But that discussion never came up. But they seemed to be okay with it. Me having kids.
And then there was feel if somebody didn't want any connection with you because, like, they wanted a relationship with you, but they didn't want a relationship with your children. Is that possible with dating you?
No, there wouldn't be a relationship then. Because my kids come with me, and ultimately, like, I'm not looking to just casually date people. I'm not like a serial dater. Although
but you know that this is happening, though. You know this is happening, though, right?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Definitely. I'm sure that there are people out there that are dating and they're really into the person isn't into the kids, and maybe somehow they make that work. Me, I'm looking for a what I'm looking for is
looking for a family.
Yeah, exactly.
You looking for a family.
You said it for me, yes. I'm looking for a committed long-term relationship. Family, if that person has kids and, ultimately maybe a combined family. Yes, that's exactly it.
Is that, how, are you near there now? Are you having flashes of that now?
I can imagine it.
Okay.
I can imagine. So the woman I'm dating now has 2 kids.
Oh, 2 kids. Now, did you have a challenge with that or no?
No, I mean, we've only been dating for a little over, it's probably been about 4 months.
But y'all have 4 kids together. Do y'all go into it knowing, like, are those y'all's 4 children?
Well, we're not like talking in those terms right now, but we both understand that if this works out and this grows into something, long term,
it would have to be a blended family.
Yes, definitely. Okay. That there wouldn't be a separation like this is mine and that's yours. That we would ultimately, yes, come together and have 4 kids. And it's funny, I was telling her, like, I have 2 kids, and when I hear people that have 3 and 4 and 5, I'm like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
Like, I'm having a rough time with 2, and 1 is almost independent. And then all of a sudden I'm thinking, wow, that's 4 kids, and her kids are young. So mine are a little older. They're still young. They're 15 and 10, but her kids are young.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's neither here, there or here. But
are there enough movies out there? Are there enough television shows out there talking about step parenting?
I don't know. I know that I've seen some.
Which ones?
I'm trying to think of it now because I know I've seen some, but I can't think of any off the top of my head.
You could maybe say, "Are we there yet?" Maybe.
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that.
Oh, you haven't seen it? That's a good movie.
Is that good?
Yeah, it's a really good movie.
Okay. No, I haven't seen that.
See, I don't think that there's enough step parenting like blended family movies.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, traditionally, like when you look at the movies, you know, it is that family unit, or sometimes it's just like the single parent. You know, it isn't really talking about step parenting or anything like that. It's just the single parent kind of raising a kid.
The worst type of step parent is what?
Probably one that doesn't love the kids. You know, that doesn't really, they want to be with the person and they put up with the kids.
Ooh.
With the person.
They put up with the kids.
They put up with the kids.
Oh, man. All right, what does that mean, they put up with the kids? Can we get an example for that?
I would just think that they're not really involved in their lives. You know, they're not acting like a parent. Now this is weird coming from me, from one that was like, "Whoa, you're not a step parent. I'm the parent." You know, but you know, as over the years, as I've thought about this subject and I've become more accepting of Jason's role in my girls' lives, where I've recognized the part he plays in their lives, and as much as like a few years ago, it would have been hard for me to admit this, but he is fulfilling a step parent role. You know, he is stepping in. You know, he takes my little girl to when the girls are with Anna and they got to go to school because they go to school here in Jersey. They live in Philadelphia. When they got to go, but they go to school here.
Has he been doing this since the very beginning?
Not since the very beginning.
So he grew to be a great step parent. Now, Were you just hating in the beginning? And that's why he wasn't doing it since day one, or has he been doing it since day one?
Well, it's funny that you bring that up because that thought just popped up in my head. Maybe he felt kind of what I was, you know, maybe he sensed something off of me and just kind of laid back.
Okay.
You know, maybe he's that type of guy. And he is a good guy. Like, I don't hang out with him or anything, but he seems like a genuinely nice guy.
Nice.
And you know, I talk to him on occasion. You know, if I'm picking up the kids or they're dropping the kids off or something, you know, like that. Actually, I'll see him tomorrow because tomorrow is my daughter's birthday party and we'll all be together. But maybe he sensed something from me because I'm sure I'm the kind of person like if I'm upset or if I feel a certain way about something, it's hard for me to hide it. So you're gonna know.
Do you feel some sort of way about me vaping right now?
What's that?
Do you feel some sort of way about me vaping
not at all.
right now?
I work with a guy who's vaping all day. All day long he's vaping. I keep throwing candy. I'm like, where's that candy coming from? You know?
That's funny.
So so maybe he felt something from me because I kind of put off that aura, you know, I put that out there. Maybe he just kind of laid back. But I know that he was involved in my girls' lives, you know, in a special way because my little girl would always be talking about things that her and Jason did.
But have you the lady that you're dating right now? Have you met her kid's father yet?
I haven't. No.
All right, so let's play a game. You meet this guy eventually, whenever that is, and he doesn't like you.
Yeah.
What do you do?
That's an interesting question. I think I would continue to.
He don't like you at all. He just misrepresents you in front of the children when he's around. He does all the things you may have done to Jason at some point.
Yeah.
But he don't like you. What do you do?
Well, let me tell you a real thing that happened.
Okay.
I briefly dated this woman. She had 4 kids. And she was like recently divorced.